duty sometimes.
Uh-huh.
But it gives us probably 30 minutes or so in between the race, so it's a decent amount of time.
So what do you do in between? What do you do? Like, is that something that like as an athlete, do you like, are you doing stretches? Are you just doing downtime, resting? What are you doing that little bit of time break?
Pretty much just kind of resting and hydrating, making sure we're hydrating before the race, getting plenty of water or Gatorade. You don't want to be too dehydrated in there because it gets really, really hot in them race cars. You get all sweaty, and it gets pretty rough in there sometimes.
Right. And what's your favorite race car? I guess
I mean, my Great American stock car is my favorite. It's it's a lot faster than the Ford racing, and it's more of a thrill for me. But the Fords are still a lot of fun. You can drive them in a lot deeper than we can because they're a little bit slower. So there's a little bit more sketchiness to that part of it. But with our cars, you're going so fast on such a little bitty tire with no grip. You're sliding all over the place. It's a thrill like no other, really.
I'd say so. Now, I know, like we've covered NASCAR and Indy, and they have a lot of rules as far as what you can do with your car. Is it a little, I don't want to say looser, but is it a little? Do you have a little more freedom running these divisions?
We definitely have a lot more freedom than NASCAR does, but I mean we have a pretty strict rule book.
Okay.
We have what's called an alliance with CRA, and we kind of have a modified version of those rules. But we have black and white rules we got to stick to, and if we break them, they disqualify us. Plain and simple. I mean, there's some situations where people get in the gray area. That's how racers work. They try to find that gray area. And sometimes they get away with it, sometimes they don't.
I think everybody looks for that.
We've had some demo derbies where there's some extreme gray area.
People love to find those gray areas.
But
it's what we live for.
But I was gonna say, but that to me is the fun part, like seeing the creativeness and seeing how, I guess, your group, your pit crew, your crew, how they come up and be very creative. They stay in the lines, and they keep with the rules, but yet they kind of know how to color a little bit out of line, if you will.
Yeah, you really wouldn't believe the kind of stuff that people come up with, especially when you hear some stories about the guys in NASCAR. Those guys do some crazy stuff that I would never imagine of thinking of.
Yeah, they are. I love it. I love that. I love every bit of that. So, Alex, what have you got? Okay, so we kind of talked about last year that your past is in your rearview mirror now. So, what have you got coming up for us? What will we be entering in here at Salem coming up?
Well, this Saturday, June 7th, we have another 50 lap race. It's kids night, so the first 300 kids get prize packs from McDonald's. They're going to have bouncy houses and stuff. You can check out the Salem Speedway Facebook page for all the info and updates on that. They're having some late models coming to race, and then they have the Vors Pro Compacts. That's a pretty good series there. It's front wheel drive, but they usually have a very good car count and a lot of respectful racing in that division. And then they just added another race for the Ford Big Track. So it's going to be a pretty action-packed night, I think. And gates open at 3 and the racing starts at 7. So hopefully everybody comes out.
Absolutely. And we're going to get rid of this rain. We're getting the rain right now, but we'll be done with it by this coming Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm thinking there might be a slight shower in the early morning, but way before the races start, and I think it moves out after that. So
yeah,
I'm pretty hopeful that we'll get the race in this weekend.
Right. And Alex, what's it mean to you when the Salem Speedway is so good about and children friendly, so much about, and don't you think that's so important?
Oh, 100%. I have 2 little girls of my own, and it's awesome to see them at the racetrack and enjoying it and having fun. I mean, I grew up in it, so it means a lot more to me than it does most people because I love to see my kids excited at the racetrack.
Right.
But I mean, just in general, you see those kids out there, they love it. They get all excited seeing all the cool race cars, and it's really cool to me. And also, I forgot to mention, this Saturday they are doing the 2-seater rides for kids. They're letting kids get in the passenger side of a car and ride around on the big track, so that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I love it. The kids need to be involved. It's really what it's all about at the end of the day.
I agree. And I think bringing the family in and making it more family friendly, of course, only makes racing, grow and get it, gets bigger. It gets contagious to everybody in the family.
Yes, for sure. And like I said, if you get the kids involved, that's better for the sport overall, because you know how it is. If your kids really love something, you're more apt to say, yeah, okay, I guess we can go. Even if you don't particularly like what they want to do, if you see something that makes them excited, you're going to want to go, and then maybe you might catch on to it too. So I mean, it's good for everybody, if you ask me.
Right. So how many races have you done this season?
This season, we've had 2 race nights, but I did double duty twice. So total, I've ran 4 races this year.
Okay. And what do you do in between? Like, how do you get yourself prepared, I guess, for like this coming Saturday race?
We usually do 1 or 2 nights a week in the garage. We go over the car, fix whatever needs to be fixed, throw it on scales, and get our weights right. It's just a lot of preparation in it. Mostly just turning wrenches on the car, making sure all the nuts and bolts are nice and tight and nothing's falling off of it. And if we got to change anything on the setup, we just kind of have an idea of what we want to change, and we'll head in that direction. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, we're back to the drawing board.
And because seems like there's always something to do when you have a race car. There's always money to be spent and something to be done.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a never-ending cycle. As soon as it's the craziest thing, because like you don't think it's that crazy, but when we're fighting for tenths of a second on a racetrack.
Oh,
you can't snap your fingers quick enough to make up the time that it gets from, say, first to fifth. It's so hard to get those tenths of a second on a racetrack, and it seems like every time that you find 1 or 2 of those tenths, other people find those 1 or 2 tenths. So it's a never-ending cycle of kind of frustration and also reward if you actually do gain that speed.
Right. What are some of your biggest challenges, I guess, like as far as like, okay, so like you're going along in the race and then and you have a spotter, correct?
Yes.
And how does the spotter, like when they're in your ear, like, are they telling you that you got an opening on the right-hand side or left? What are some of the, I guess, the things that the commands you're hearing from the spotter?
Well, they will mostly tell us if somebody is trying to pass us on the inside or outside. They'll say car high, car low. They'll tell us at our quarter panel or at our door. So kind of trying to keep us from wrecking each other. And especially on that big track, it's kind of hard to see. Mm-hmm. And if you wreck up there, you tear up some good stuff. So, I mean, those spotters are very important. And also, like the last race that we won, it's like we set a blistering pace out there, and then my dad is my spotter.
Oh, I love
so
that.
He tells me what my lap times are compared to second place's lap times, if he's catching me and if I'm gaining on him. So then it gets to the point where if you're so far out, you need to kind of back it down to save your tires for the end of the race, so you don't blister your tires and they catch up to you at the end of the race. You want to kind of have that happy medium. So the spotters are very important, I think, especially on a big track like that. You don't need them mostly on the short tracks, but for the big tracks, it's very important, especially if there's a wreck. Say we're on the back stretch and there's a wreck in turn 4. He'll say, wreck in turn 4, get to the bottom, get to the bottom. He just tries to get us out of the way of the wrecks and make sure we come back safely.
I love that.
Now, I don't know if you race at other speedways, but was it difficult to learn how to race on this track being with the high banks?
Oh yes, 100%. It's a funny story because I grew up racing over at Salem Speedway in Jeffersonville, and that's kind of where my dad raced most of his life, and that's just kind of where we went. But then it's a smaller. I think it's a little less than a quarter mile, maybe, compared to Salem's half mile. So the first time I went up there, I thought, it's just racing. I can do it. I'm King Kong, I go out. I didn't get a lap of practice because something on my right front broke, and my dad had to weld it together. So he wanted to take it out for first practice just to make sure everything was right. And my very first laps were qualifying that day. ever on the big track.
Oh, wow.
And I took it out there. I'm like, all right, I got this. I sent it off into turn 3, straight up into the wall, bounced off the wall, and here I go. I was terrible. And then, so it was a very humbling experience because it's a different type of racing up there. You can't just be crazy and wild. You have to kind of you have to respect the track.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Had your dad raced there before?
Yeah, he raced there probably, I don't know, probably 10 times or less. They do that Halloween 200 in October every year.
Yeah.
And I think he ran maybe 3 or 4 of them, maybe, but not too much. He was mostly a figure 8 guy, so he was more like Sportsdrome or up in Indianapolis. They race up there, stuff like that.
Now, when he took your car out that day, you probably thought, "Oh, that's no big deal. It's just another track, right?"
Yeah, especially because especially at that time, he was way better than I ever thought about being. So he takes it out there and makes it look easy. I'm like, I can do that. And no, it wasn't that easy.
Can you feel the gravity pulling on you when you're on those turns?
Oh yeah, for sure. You can your body will lean to the side a little bit, and you can feel it. And then occasionally, when you step on the throttle, it'll pull you back in your seat. It's a pretty rowdy feeling, honestly.
I rode around in I guess it was a pace truck, or no, I don't remember if it was a pace truck or if it was in we call it the wrecker. But when you're up there, you can look down, and you're looking down at the bottom of the track, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm way up in the air.
Yeah, it's insane, man. If you ever walk up the bank, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I love it. It's so much faster, and I just think it's cool, you know.
We took the track. Glenn had a few of the elementary schools come up and walk up the track, and the kids at first were like, "Oh, that's no big deal," and then when they went to go up it, they were like, "Oh my goodness."
Yeah, you don't think about it being that deep until you actually try to walk up it, or even if you have a car on it, your car's all the way sideways. I mean, especially if you take something like a golf cart up there, it gets pretty crazy. You start to get up a little bit towards the wall, and you're like, I don't think I want to do this. I might flip. And then you go back down.
I did a mini bike many years ago, and it was a little bit. And then I also did a tricycle. We did a tricycle race years ago. I did win the tricycle race, but we did not go up high. We stayed low, definitely. Going back to your dad
coined the phrase, drive it like you stole it.
Yeah.
Tricycle.
You're right.
Going back to your dad, is it hard for him to be the spotter and to be that person in your ear whenever, he's got to be chomping at the bit to be in that car with you?
I don't think it is anymore. Cause he pretty much is retired from racing now. So I think at least he says he gets the same or more joy.
Oh, I love that. Oh,
than it is him racing. So I think it's pretty easy for him. I mean, outside of obviously the extra added nerves of his son being out there in a race car. I mean, I'm sure that's pretty nerve wracking, especially if we're in a tight position battle or fighting for a win. I'm sure that gets pretty crazy on his emotions, but I think it's fine on him.
Well, good. And I love that. That is what a good dad you have. And I love that so much that he, and the supporter, but I've noticed in racing, it's family. This is what it's all about.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's like I said, we grew up with it. It's been in my family for generations. I mean, that's what you go to the racetrack and you walk in the pits and you see everybody's got their families with them pretty much. I mean, it's a family atmosphere, and that's what we love about it, really.
Now, how do you feel? I know you say they're probably younger, but how do you think your daughters? You think you'll let them do their maybe have a racing career?
Well, if they tell me they want to do it, I will do what I can to make it happen. But personally, with I don't want my little girls going out there and wrecking race cars,
Yeah.
It's hard on the heart,
Yeah.
But it'll be kind of nerve wracking. But like I said, if they say they want to do it, we'll make something happen. But I don't know. My oldest she's pretty into like arts and stuff, so I don't know if she's going to want to do that, but we'll see.
I love that.
My youngest is way too young to even try right now. She's only 4, so she's my wild child, though. But she might be interested when she gets there. We'll see.
She might be the
Every
thrill
once
seeker.
in a while at our fair, they have
Yeah.
like little those battery powered car races. So you might keep an ear out for that.
Yeah, she might.
Like
Maybe
a
her
little Barbie Jeep.
on her 5th birthday, maybe she'll get her first go-kart or something.
Maybe we'll see. I don't know.
I love that. Well, Alex, may the
She'll probably run
may the
right
odds
into
be in
wall
your
or something.
favor.
She don't care.
I love that. You know, you got to have
That's
the
part of it, right?
opposites. Yeah. Well, your dad's doing the same. Look what your dad's doing.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So
He encourages it too. He's a bad influence on him.
I love that.
All kinds of crazy stuff.
That's great. I love that. Well, so this coming Saturday, you'll be racing. What cars will you have there again this Saturday?
I will just have my street stock car there this weekend. The Ford that I run, my buddy owns it, and he just wants me to drive for him every now and then. And he took it to another racetrack last weekend and wrecked it.
Oh.
It's not available to race this weekend, so I'll just only have my street stock this week.
Okay. And what number are you and what color is your car so we can make sure we identify you?
I am number 38. It's a white and red car. They call it Rocket Red. It's a really bright red car red on the bottom of the car, and a bright yellow neon number. So I'm pretty easy to find.
Yeah, I love that. Why did you pick that number, and why did you go with those colors? I like to hear. Was there a reason?
The number originated. I think my dad's old car owner was number 38, and I think he kind of inherited that, and then he just kind of built this brand of Team 38, and I just took off with that, and I was like, I want to be like my dad, so I'll be number 38.
Oh, I see
the numbers, the colors, and all that. We pretty much change our color scheme every year, so we always try to come up with something new and exciting and cool to look at every year. So it's we don't really have a certain color scheme specific, so it's year by year basis on that.
I was thinking that bright red, would that be Lightning McQueen?
It's probably pretty close to that. It's kind of it's a really, really bright red, almost orangish red.
Love that. Love that. And will you as far as like the races, I guess, because I love to know like the background, and when we watch you on the track and watch you go, what are like some of your, I guess, what's your degrees of difficulties? What's some of your biggest challenges, I guess, do you feel?
I mean, it's all a real big challenge out there, honestly. I mean, you're going, I don't know, 130 mile an hour or so around that racetrack. I mean, it's all sporadic and chaotic. I mean, not only are you worrying about what you're doing, you're worried about what everybody else around you is doing. Because if you're 3 or 4 rows back and people wreck 2 rows in front of you, sometimes you don't have anywhere to go. So you got to keep your eyes out in front of you and try to avoid. You got to kind of see wrecks coming and then try to avoid the wrecks as they happen. That's probably our biggest, our biggest challenge up there is staying out of everybody else's stuff. Then, mistakes happen. So when our tires get hot, or if our car's not handling right, everything gets slick out there, and anything can happen. You can make one mistake, and around you go. It's a tough challenge for sure.
Right. Well, I'm just wondering on that because, sometimes when you get like kind of a cluster of cars and you're trying to, that defensive driving really has to kick in, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of racing, really. You're putting a lot of trust into everybody around you, along with yourself. And, sometimes things happen that are out of your control. But at the same time, like, we race with a lot of good people. Most of them have a good head on their shoulders, and they know when to push the envelope and when not to. I had to learn that the hard way. Like I said, when I first got up there, I was pretty rambunctious and wanted to win so bad, and it took me a minute to learn that curve there. So I mean, it's a great place to race, I think.
I love that. Well, I think that we've interviewed and talked with different drivers, and you really have to make some really like the decisions. I was talking to one, he was like low on gas, but his crew, the pit crew you rely on in this spotter so much, said they thought he could make it and worked out wonderful. He went and he went ahead and did it, and of course he won. But I think those are like things that like to have. It's so important to have that good support. What you're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. Like the people in the pits matter just as much as we do in the car. I mean, that's what I said when we won those races. It's like I owed those guys and girls the win. It's like they struggle and they sacrifice just as much as I do. It's not more, because they don't get the rewards of being in the race car. Most of them don't want to be, because honestly it's kind of scary sometimes for people. So
Sure.
Most people don't want to anyways. But we get the thrill of actually racing, and to be honest with you, we get all the glory if we do win. They don't get the glory like we do, but they put in just as much work as we do to get there. So those guys are really, really important. All my guys that help me at the shop, all of our sponsors that help make it happen. I mean, everybody is important and critical. Even my wife and my mom. Like my mom watches the kids all the time when my wife works.
Love that.
God forbid my wife doesn't ever say no to anything when it comes to racing. Like she's a saint. I mean, everybody's sacrifices are needed, so they all deserve as much glory as we get, but that's just the way it goes,
Right. Well, Alex, I hope to see you in the winner circle. I hope that a big win this weekend, and it's been so awesome to talk to you, and you sound like you got your head on the shoulders, and you said you were a little bit later to the game, but I think you're definitely in the game, very, very, very much so.
Well, I appreciate it. I hope you're right on that victory lane stuff. It sure does feel good.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, we're going to be cheering you on, and we want everybody to come out to the Salem Speedway. So, and this is actually a great time to bring the kids, bring the family. Big night, a great opportunity for those. Maybe, we have a treasure right here in our community. We want, community members, we want those out of town, everybody to come to Salem Speedway this weekend and come and see Alex and cheer you on. And if you hear some loud people, that's just us cheering you on, Alex. Okay.
Well, we need all the loud people we can get. It's like I said, it's going to be a great time, a good weekend. Everybody needs to bring their kids out and get those prizes, and get those kids in the bouncy houses and let them ride around the racetrack. It's a really good time. So I hope to see everybody out there.
All right, Alex, you stay safe, okay?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Alex Ware, have a great day, and we'll see you Saturday, okay?
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, wonderful.
Yeah, I can't imagine for the first time getting out there, just taking the lap and not being used to it.
Yeah, and the speed, I mean, you'd want to, there's so many, I guess, things that I think like you're not just trying to go fast, you're also looking left, right, and straight forward, or, in the back, what's happening around you, right? I would think as a spotter, I mean, like, okay, this is what my take would be. I've never been one, but I would think you'd have to stay calm, cool, collected, right?
Well, wait a minute. We've raised 6 kids. You've been a spotter. Okay?
I have spotted, I guess, but I've tried to be in their ear. I think they turned me off. You might want to
get down from that ladder.
I have been a spotter.
We've been spotters.
But I think that, like, to be a spotter, you would have to really, stay calm yourself, but also, be, I guess, very informative and very into detail, Go high, go low.
You'd have to learn the lingo, just like you would in anything else.
I would probably have a different weird lingo. I'm sure.
Stick to the script, Becky.
No, I think not gonna do that.
Not gonna do that.
Oh, but the person would know.
That's not what we call it.
Oh, definitely. But that's why they've never called me to do it. That's why I wanted to be that person that,
times up at Indy and they didn't ask.
Yeah, they never asked me to be a spotter. I am shocked and surprised at that. I think that I would be that person that would just at first I wanted to clean the windows, but then a lot of them don't have windows.
They have
You know,
film.
they have film that just take off.
Film.
So I think that I could either do that or I could hand the driver a drink. Like hold the bottle. No, I don't want to touch a tire. I don't want to touch anything.
They have that taken care of too.
Well, I would do that. I just want to say that if I don't want to touch a tire, I'm amazed. We're at the Indy track, and I am amazed at how fast that tire can be changed. And I'm amazed at how they fuel. I'm amazed at it.
Reminds me of cars. Remember when
it's crazy the fast
pit stop.
I mean, like they don't even. I don't think they even like have time to think. They just react. They know how they've got themselves trained. They don't even. There's seconds. They're just trained. It's just they're just trained.
Well, they had the pit stop challenge up there,
and which again they're just trained. It's crazy. But I think I would be that person that would hold the cup and let the driver have a drink. That's probably would be best for me. You know what I mean? I think that I'm not touching a tire. That's too much responsibility there. I possibly can't handle all that. Yeah. Way too much. Or I'm not touching the gasoline. Okay. Or the fuel or whatever you call it. I'm not doing that either. I'll handle the drink. That's my job.
I'm just trying.
Just trying to think of that. But here's the way it would go. The driver would pull in real quick. This is why I've never had the call. The driver would pull in. I would be talking to someone. Okay. The driver would be parched and completely thirsty, then many laps, ready for a nice big swig of something, and I would be talking, and then realize that the driver didn't get his drink. So I would do my best though to stay focused. I really would. Yeah, just don't put anybody around me of interest.
Did you tighten that nut on what nut?
Yes. All right. Onward ho this coming Saturday. Keep up the great work, Salem Speedway and McDonald's. I'm loving it. Fun time.
Lots of fun.
Family time. I don't think we've thanked our sponsors this morning.
Kids will get to ride in a car.
I know. Love that. Love that. All right.
Meadowview Healthcare, Walmart, Salem Crossing, Americans for Prosperity, Mama Rosa's, Fox Purley Wealth Management, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Dr. Mindy Gunn, Marshall Monuments, McAllister Land Consulting, First Harrison Bank, Louisville Bats, Schneck Hospital, Springs Valley Bank and Trust, and Temple and Temple.
I love that. Thank you to our great sponsors. And we're on to the 5th day of June. Today is Apple II Day. Apple II Day. Okay.
Oh, I know what that. Yeah, Apple II.
Okay.
Well, that's back in the day.
I know. You got to see it. It shows they look like I don't know. Old. Yeah. Old.
Ship anchors.
Yeah. Festival of Popular Delusions Day. Delusions. Okay. Hot air balloon day. Would you ride in a hot air balloon?
I'm not a big heights. When I looked down out of the car and saw what angle we were at, I was like,
I would do it. A hot air balloon day. Yeah.
I don't know. If I didn't look, I guess I'd be all right.
National Attitude Day. Have an attitude of gratitude every morning. Bob Holler.
Yep.
Attitude of gratitude. Absolutely. National Attitude Day. Have a good attitude. National Gingerbread Day. That's kind of crazy. I would have thought more in the December. Yeah. Mm-hmm. National Ketchup Day. Ketchup, just Ketchup Day.
Now you're talking about like ketchup your work or ketchup?
Oh, ketchup. French fries and ketchup.
Remember when they had it in the glass bottle and it took forever to come out?
Oh, and you hit the bottom. There was like an art to do that. They showed you like how to do that, like to tilt it and then you hit the bottom and like, yes. National Ketchup Day. National Moonshine Day.
What flavor would you get if you were going to get some?
Lemonade. I don't know.
I've seen.
There's watermelon. There's
they put
banana bread.
They put dill pickles in it.
Yeah,
they put
banana
pineapple. I've seen
everything.
cherries.
I think you dream it up, they come up with it.
Yeah.
Ooh,
they've got all kinds of flavors.
National Veggie Burger Day. I do love a good veggie burger. Yeah, love that. Sausage roll day. That looks so good.
Now that looks pretty good. It
Looks
looks like
good.
a pig in a blanket, honestly.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. I love pig in blanket. Pig in the blanket. World Environment Day.
We got to take care of it or we won't have it.
Exactly. Very good. So those are some holidays to get out and enjoy.
Today's Mark Wahlberg's birthday today. And Pancho Villa's birthday.
I got a friend
June 5th.
request from him, but I don't think it's really him.
Oh, really? Just now?
No,
okay.
no. Yeah. So,
You got a shout out from Rob Schneider. That was pretty cool.
yeah, it's really cool. Very cool.
And that was real.
Yeah, that was real. And which love Rob Snyder.
51st dates.
Love it. So much. So many fun things. So many fun things.
Saturday Night Live and all that stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Today's a big day. And I know you're going to, if I say this, you're going to squeal. The first trailer for the next Wicked movie.
Yes. Well, actually, I've seen a little bit of, I've already dabbled a little into it. Yeah.
What's going on?
Oh, I don't want to be a spoiler alert. I don't know. It looks like,
it's out there
well,
for
they
people
were like
what's
showing
going on.
they're showing their
Is it a
wardrobe.
mystery that somebody's still with us?
Yeah, there's a wardrobe showing. They're like, it's showing like some of the different different clothing that they'll be wearing, and they said that some of that's a giveaway.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, how would that be a giveaway?
Well, if they're wearing certain colors, certain outfits, certain events they'd be going to, or certain colors that they.
Now we're going to actually get to the Wizard of Oz in this, right?
I think so.
There's going to be people from the Wizard of Oz in this.
I think so.
And we saw them in the first one.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
We saw.
Right.
The end and an escape, and so we
shall see. Time will tell, won't it?
Will tell.
Yeah, time will tell.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah.
That's exciting.
All right, we'll have to watch that.
Yeah. All right. So that today. Also, they've also come out with a new thing. Okay, they've come out with. This is on TikTok where it's adult tummy time. You know how if you're a parent, you probably remember with all of the girls, we always did tummy time, and laying babies on their stomachs while they're awake so they can strengthen their neck and shoulder muscles to improve their motor skills, which is very important to
now,
tummy
would
time.
most people call that a plank?
Well, hold on, adult tummy time, which is the same for adults. The content creators say you should be on your stomach for 10 or more minutes every day, even if you're just watching TV, scrolling, or reading. It's supposed to, I guess, help your neck, the effects of the hours you spend hunched over computers, phones, and other devices. Be careful, though. One video warns that if you tilt your head back too much during tummy time, you're basically just bending your neck and spine in the same way that you would do if you were hunched over. So it's better to keep your neck straight, which is easier if you're reading than if you're trying to watch TV. So I guess tummy time is back for adults. So what are you doing over there? Tummy time. Tummy time. Yeah. I think that's not a bad thing. I think that a lot of times, you kind of do tummy time if you're watching TV, I guess. If you're on the floor watching TV, you'd kind of be, tummy time.
So
right?
if you do this plank,
if you play a board game on the floor, do what?
Would if you doing like
a plank? I think a plank would be very much.
One of our pets
time.
was doing planks the other day.
Do what?
I said one of the pets were doing the planks the other day.
Yeah, he does.
He's a fit little boy.
He is. He can just do mighty things, can't he? Yes.
Sometimes too mighty.
He is a little too mighty. Yeah, definitely. All right. They're coming out with a new goldfish. I feel like goldfish is just throwing things out there, but the original goldfish is good. So I don't know why they keep throwing things out there, but they're coming out with a new goldfish coming soon.
Ooh.
It tastes like a chicken sandwich.
Awesome sauce.
So
what is awesome sauce?
They have a deep question for you, whether you're going to snack on some goldfish, the cracker that is. Would it be weird if the flavor is a fish sandwich? This isn't a real thing yet, but this made us think of it. Goldfish is having a new limited edition flavor this month called Awesome Sauce, which is supposed to be similar to a burger dressing. They say it's sweet, smoky, and tangy, and impossible to resist.
So a burger dressing would be like are we talking like the Golden Arch sauce? The
Big Mac sauce?
Is that what Awesome Sauce would be?
That'd be awesome sauce to me. I'd call that awesome sauce. They'll be in stores sometimes this month, along with spicy dill pickle goldfish. I don't know. That would be a spicy dill pickle goldfish. Would that be kind of
pickle chips?
Yes, and I was trying to think that actually wouldn't be bad. It's kind of a vinegar, and vinegar and salt chips are good, right? So, or to some they are, to some they're not. But so this is a spicy dill pickle goldfish, which will be returning for a limited time as well. Might be fun for like a summer party. And things get interesting. A marketing director from the company said, you will eat spicy dill pickle goldfish with awesome sauce goldfish. It tastes exactly like you're eating a chicken sandwich. So if you buy that, this is a marketing. You can tell this is all marketing because they're encouraging you to buy both and eat them together to get that ultimately chicken sandwich.
You need to get the true experience. You would need to buy
both. Yes. So that's marketing.
Suggested.
Wait. So you're not doing it right if you don't buy both, right?
Yep.
You got to buy both. Yeah, definitely. So yeah, so goldfish crackers.
Once again, the American public is suckered.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that like goldfish, I feel like they are just like
they're good though.
On their own. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they're adding all these flavors.
I'm kind of a Cheez-It.
Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah, I think it's all good.
Either way. Apple's going to be pulling another one. Speaking of consumer tricks, if anybody is an iPhone user out there, you're currently on iPhone or iOS 18, and one would anticipate that the next version of software coming out next week would be iOS 19, but they're wrong because it's going to now be reflected by the year, and so they're going to, since this is only technically coming out in September, for most people, it will be called iOS 26.
Oh.
So they're skipping some numbers and probably confuse people. Well, didn't we just have 18?
They like to keep people confused, I feel.
And my feeling and thought is that this is to throw people off the track, that last year's stuff didn't work the way it was intended and it hasn't been completely finished, and I don't think we'll be finished until next year. Their AI, Apple Intelligence, was not very intelligent.
Right. They came out with that robot that looked like a real person too.
That was the
Tesla. Yeah. And I saw actually one the other day, not locally.
Did the governor have one of those?
No, the governor did not have one of those. No. Yeah, he or she was out there doing the gardening. No, yeah. No.
Play horse with me.
Yeah. Give me some tea. No.
I wouldn't want to play horse against a robot.
Yeah. No. But I did see one, and it's really crazy how they've made them look so real. It's almost kind of, I don't know, it's kind of really weird to me. I don't know. I'm a little bit like on the fence about that. I mean, I love technology, but man, it was a female, and she looked really real. She looked really real. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. Which that's a whole nother story, but okay. This is going back. We had Brad from Walmart, Brad Gilbert from Walmart yesterday, and we actually talked about, he told the story of what they do with shopping carts, where old shopping carts go. I mean,
they go to die?
No, I know. I was like, this is like stuff. I don't know why.
Melt them down and make
we have never talked about this before. They refurbish them, but first of all,
I've seen groups come in and like change wheels,
and they
fix-
do that. Yes, they have. These are questions I cannot believe.
That
I've
would be
never.
an HGTV show, shopping cart fixer upper.
I would think that who can do it. Well, you talk about, okay, you could almost have a pit crew, right? I mean, like who could put the wheels on the fastest, who could, right? You know, there's got to be some WD-40 somewhere in there, right?
I would think
And
so.
I mean, something's got to be going on there. But so he said they go and they take, let's say okay, first of all, you have to spot the problem. Okay.
That one wheel.
So and it has to be, you know, I mean,
that-
do we have a problem here?
Either there's a wheel that's loose or there's a wheel that won't even spin.
And sometimes, you know, if I have that, I will just go with it. You know what I mean? I don't even care. It's all right. You know what I mean? But anyway, so you have to spot the problem. You have to identify, wait, hang on. You step back, identify the problem. Okay.
I see a flow chart.
Okay. Then they take the cart back and they work it. They do their maintenance. They have maintenance to do it. And then if it's fixable and done, then it comes back out and can be a part. If it doesn't, then it goes on to the great land of refurbishing. Onward ho we go. Yeah. So I just know I cannot believe I had never
The metal furnace.
No, not the furnace.
Or
not the gumdrop.
Or in some cities, you see
No,
them
not
out
the
just
gumdrop.
on the street, so they may just go out and become
Well, I've seen
homeless
those. Yeah.
cars.
Well, they usually have pretty good wheels, though. I think they get the better ones. I don't know that they get that. Don't sleep on that. I'm saying they got some good wheels out there. Okay, so here the shopping cart was. So we're going on. This is the week of the shopping cart. The shopping cart was first introduced back in 1937. It was invented by Sylvan Goldman, who the owner of Humpty Dumpty grocery chain in Oklahoma City.
Well, who knew that?
And, you know, there are some stores that do not allow you to take the shopping carts out.
I thought they put that big pole on there. You can't get.
They have the pole, and then some have like just like a sensor that will not let you take them out.
Have to put a quarter in to get it, and you don't want to give up that quarter, so you.
Well, there's there's like a totally different, So it's very interesting, though. I feel like that it's important to have a shopping cart, especially if you have big items. But no one liked them at first. Men found them inefficient. Women found them suggestive of a baby carriage. I don't know what that means. In a bad way, they felt like in a bad way. They felt okay, in a bad way, but they eventually became a hit, and actually, Goldman became a multi-millionaire off his royalties from the design. I bet. I mean, shopping carts. That was back in when? In 1937. Wow, they've been around for a while. But and here's the thing, you know, if you remember, let me go back. Okay, I didn't get to talk to Brad about this. When Walmart first opened right across the street here, they had little shopping carts. They had shopping.
They had both.
Well, I know, but they had the big ones and the little ones. And I remember telling Brad, we don't need those little ones. They don't even, I didn't even ever want to use one of those.
There may be a segment of the population that prefers that, but I think
majority wants
and
those
also
big ones.
Marketing for them. If you have the bigger shopping cart, you will fill it.
You will, and it's like it's got a deeper. And just
you just think how much you couldn't get. Maybe a case of beer in that little one. So there's.
Well, I wasn't buying a case of beer, but
some
how about a case of soft drinks?
Couple to start the weekend.
Well, and you have children. We have children too. You won't really diapers. Oh no, I meant like children in the cart.
Yeah, you must need
children in the cart. We can tell who goes.
Let me know what aisle they're on, and
I'll. Okay, so anyway, 1937 was when it was introduced. Love that. All right, now one of my favorite movies.
People just carried. Of course, they just carried. There wasn't as much to buy, probably.
Yeah.
People made or
grew
their stuff.
As my grandmother would say, when you go to do your trading, you're trading, and your clothes good, and you're trading. Yeah, so those were things that I heard about. Yeah. Okay, this is one of my favorite movies, and one that you've never made it through.
Oh, I know
the producers of Gone with the Wind were fined $5,000 for using the DAMN word in the movie.
Well,
frankly, my dear,
started Howard Stern, didn't it?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, which could pay it. It's funny because when the movie, I remember my dad talking, because about it.
He must have went to see that when he was a young boy.
Young man, yes, and but it's funny because he was like, that had to be said. Yes, it cost them $5,000 to use the word, but it would never have had the impact, and it wouldn't have had the same ending, and if it was not that word. So $5,000 well
today,
paid.
I wonder how they would.
No, they sure wouldn't get fined $5,000. That would have been okay to do. Yeah. So I just thought that was very interesting. Yeah. So I knew it. I remember, actually, I knew this already because Dad had said that they got fined for using it, but it was worth every penny of it. So
I've watched the Carol Burnett skit, so I feel like I've watched.
No. You can't beat the Carol Burnett skit. That is so good. Carol Burnett was on, but
when we went to see her, she talked about that.
Yeah, she did. The curtains. Yeah. I just found it in the window. I just saw them in the window. The dress. Had to have it. Anyway, yeah, that was beautiful. Yeah, but when she goes to deliver that line, like you can see that she's coming up to that line, and then when that line gets done.
I mean, between her show and on Mama's Family, she was. I mean, she just.
Yeah, which I talked with Vicki Lawrence too, remember? And that was different because like I didn't know which person I'd be talking to, Mama or her. Yeah, she did a little bit of both, but it was a little different
The elephant story was
with Tim Conway. That was with Tim Conway.
I bet
and
they all
the dentist
Tim
Conway was.
I bet they had to change clothes all the time.
And the meat producer or whatever was my hot dog. Yeah, don't. Yeah, don't even get me started with all that. Now that'll be stuck in my head. Yeah, Tim Conway was just hilarious to me. So onward ho we go. The 1930s in England was one of the only ways a woman could get a divorce if her husband was impotent. And so there were actual. Okay, all right, there we go. Onward ho. I did not pre-read that. All right.
And the job there that it mentions, that would be one that you would not.
We're not going to talk about that. Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Oh, well.
Okay. The first appearance of Cookie Monster was in an IBM training film in 1967.
That's hilarious.
Cookie Monster. Yeah. It's funny because a lot of kids don't know
Sesame Street.
They don't know the Cookie Monster anymore.
Bob Bird or Oscar the Grouch.
Yeah, Bert and Ernie. They don't know Bert and Ernie. They don't know which Bert and Ernie after Wonderful Life. Bert and Ernie. Cops. Yeah, which is really a little fun fact. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Barbra Streisand is the only person who's had #1 album in 6 decades. Her first People Who Need People back in 1964, and her 6th was Encore, movie partners with Sing Broadway in 2014. So exciting.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now this is
trivia.
Parents will appreciate this, and because this is something you always tell kids, and I know we've heard it a million times, but if you go to the restroom, just try before we go someplace.
Yes. I imagine that there's a lot of, after hearing a lot of race car drivers up at the 500 who had to use the restroom, who couldn't, I'm sure their team,
they sang the song from Frozen, Let It Go.
Let It Go. You know it. Yeah, that was, I don't think I've ever heard a race so much talked about how they had to use the restroom. Yeah.
They just did.
No, they didn't. They were holding it. They had to go.
He said he just, what's his name?
No, he said he held it, but he had to go. No. He no,
on the microphone.
No, he did not. No, he did not. No, I don't know where you got that. No, he said he had to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought he said
no, he did not.
Did the deed. Okay. But I'm sure it probably dried up if he did.
He didn't.
Okay, but he didn't. Proactive voiding is what it's scientifically or medically called, and they talked to a urologist at Penn State who said that doing it every once in a while is okay, but if you do it a lot, your bladder starts telling your brain that you need to go when you don't really need to.
Oh.
The average adult's bladder can hold about 2 to 3 cups of liquid. 2 cups for women, 3 cups for men. So I guess our bladder is a little bigger, although I've heard of people suffering from TB, tiny bladder. But we generally, that's not scientific, that was just made up. But we generally
I don't
feel
know
the
if it's
urge
made up. There's probably
to
people
go
with
when
different
it's
size
less than
bladders.
half full. So just in case, going to the bathroom can bring your level of tolerance down lower.
Ah, that's interesting. All right. 48 years ago in 1977, Alice Cooper, who I finally in my adult life saw here there in Louisville, Kentucky. Alice Cooper's pet boa constrictor, which was bitten by a rat it was trying to eat and died.
Oh no.
Oh no. Well, that's I guess sad for him, right? Let's see here. In 1965, on this date, June the 5th, I Can't Get No Satisfaction, the Rolling Stones was released. In 1956, Elvis Presley went on the Milton Berle show and thrust his area there at the camera, and it caused so much controversy that from then on, cameras would only shoot him from the waist up.
Yep.
Yeah, I remember that.
Elvis the pelvis.
Yeah. Thrusting the pelvis. The pelvis thrust there. Okay. Also, in 1968, the great Robert F. Kennedy was shot at the Ambassador Hotel in LA just after winning the California Democratic primary. He died the next day. Former NFL superstar Rosie Greer was working as a bodyguard for Kennedy, who helped down
No, he was a football player.
Yeah, assassin. Yeah.
Did not know that.
That's different in history, isn't it? Yeah. Oh, on this date in 2004, Ronald Reagan died from pneumonia after a 10-year battle with Alzheimer's. He was 93. All right. And 14 years ago, in 2011, Teen Wolf premiered on MTV. It ran
I didn't
for
know
6
they had
seasons.
a series about that.
I didn't know if I remember that.
Well, Conway Twitty was young, well, relatively young, since we're all approaching, or not all, but our age group is approaching that. But he was 59 when he passed away. That's not
for
Conway Twitty.
Twitty? Yeah, I thought he was older than that.
In 1993. So I don't know if he had a sickness or.
Did not know.
I mean, some go early, some go later, some.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's thank our sponsors this morning.
Yeah. Temple and Temple, Springs Valley Bank and Trust, Zeneck Hospital, Louisville Bats, First Harrison Bank, McAllister Land Consulting, Marshall Monuments, Dr. Black's Eye Associates, Fox Burley Wealth Management, Mama Rose's. They're gearing up for their big buffets. They got 2 big buffets tomorrow, lunch and supper. Americans for Prosperity, Salem Crossing, Walmart, Mediview Healthcare. Also get your blue and gold on tonight because the Pacers
are playing
their first game of the NBA Finals. I'm going to go ahead and say it, even though the NBA might not want us to say that, but it is what it is.
It's
right?
Okay. Yeah, we're excited about that.
So they play tonight at 8:30. We should have the pregame show on at 8. The schedule is that they would play in Oklahoma tonight and Sunday, and then back at Indianapolis on Wednesday and Friday of next week. And then if the Pacers can't, if we can't get it done in 4 games, then we'll go back and forth until it's over. So that's that. NASCAR is in, let's see. Where's our NASCAR racing this weekend? Last weekend it was in Nashville. This week it is in the Firekeepers Casino 400 in Michigan. So that is on Sunday at 2:00. So we'll probably have that on about 1:30, 1 to 1:30. And then the Reds. What can we say about the Reds? We love them, but daggone it. They won. not night before last, and then last night they got beat 9-1. So I don't understand. But anyway, so today, no, tomorrow they got a day off. Tomorrow they'll be playing in Cincinnati. The Diamondbacks will be there for the weekend. So, and they're creeping. Well, they got 6 games before they hit the bottom again, 6 or 7, 6.5. So, but they're in 4th place. There's not much separating Cardinals and the Brewers from 2nd and 3rd place. So hopefully the Reds are 9 games back. So they're 4 games out of 3rd place and 5 games out of 2nd place. So hopefully they can catch up some games before the All-Star break.
Sounds great. All right. Well, everyone, let's have a beautiful Thursday. Thank you.
Beautiful and a little rainy.